What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how the arrival of Destiny 2 Forsaken and the beginning of Year 2 is going to change the way we all fight. The changes in weapon balance, the changes in abilities, some of the new features that will allow you to configure the way you play are going to be available to all players of Destiny 2. Some of these changes will even arrive before Foresaken on August 28th. And what we want to do is give you a pre-mission briefing so that you can start thinking right now about how you might be configuring your Guardian so that it's a good reflection of how you are as a player.
We wanted the game to be interesting for longer, and so that means things like the drops you're getting, we want it to be special and fun. You know, every time you see something hit your screen, you want to be like, ooh, what is that, right? We want to bring that moment back.
Your 10th Better Devils, if you will.
Exactly. We wanted the 10th Better Devils to still be as exciting as your first Better Devils, because it could be the best Devils.
Let's show them, shall we?
Yeah, let's go to it.
You have a controller in your hand. You're going to be the driver, and we have a Warlock up on screen. So Greg, show us what's different and exciting.
Let's start out by talking about slots. So as you notice, we still have the 3-slot system: kinetic, energy, and power.
Yep.
So the paradigm still lies that kinetic weapons go in the first slot, energy type weapons go in the second slot, and power weapons go in the third slot. However, you'll notice that next to the light level of the weapon now is a little ammo icon that says primary or special or heavy. So basically what we've done is we've turned what ammo a weapon takes into an attribute of the weapon rather than tying it to the slot, which means that in the kinetic slot, we can run both primary and special weapons. The same with the energy slot, primary and special weapons. And in the heavy slot, in the power slot, you can only run heavy weapons.
Yep.
So if you take a look through this lovely menagerie of weapons we have here, here we have a shotgun. Here we have a hand cannon, a bow. A bow is also going to be a primary weapon.
Brand new archetype for players of Forsaken only.
Some varieties of Better Devils here. Pulse rifle, sniper rifle. And here in the energy slot, we have also shotguns, bows, snipers, and not featured here, fusion rifles as well, and also trace rifles. We actually upgraded trace rifles to a special ammo, which means that they will be doing more damage in Year 2. So here in the power slot, we have grenade launchers. We have.
Is that all grenade launchers, Greg?
No, actually, we've also we've also changed some of the single shot grenade launchers into using special ammo as well. So they will also do a different damage than the heavy grenade launchers.
And did you touch them to fit appropriately?
They will fit appropriately.
Yeah.
Rocket launchers, swords, and linear fusion rifles.
If you're crazy,
you can roll 3 shots.
You sure can.
Or grenade launchers.
Or grenade launchers. That's right. There are a couple of rolls like that you can run 3 weapons with. What we realized in a hurry was that the weapon ammo model was certainly going to have to change to support this. For sure, if you play 3 of the same weapon, or even 2 specials, you're going to have a harder time on your hands keeping ammo in than if you are running dual primaries, which is obviously the easiest thing to keep up with ammo. Well, in PvP, which we'll show you in just a little bit, you do respawn with ammo, including special ammo. And so you're always being fed ammo to keep you playing. And so even in the case of running dual specials, like, you're going to be in the game, you're going to be playing, you're going to be able to do stuff. And I think we're going to see some of our better players, run the gauntlet of being able to run maximum special weapons and heavy weapons and stay afloat and even run into their advantage.
They may even surprise you.
They may even surprise
like they do.
Here we have a Better Devils with Zen Moment, Outlaw, Tactical Mag, Steady Rounds, and a variety of pretty sweet sights. This one's got Hipfire Grip, Moving Target, also Tactical Mag and Steady Rounds. You know what? I think I have got a best devil.
A best
I
devil.
think I might have a best
Show
devil.
me your
better than
best
that.
devils.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's look at this best devil.
I don't know, Greg.
All right.
Isn't that what you just picked? Okay. there we
Promising a
go.
lot of things here.
Oh, what about this one?
Ooh.
Explosive payload,
Oh, man.
range
Ooh,
finder,
rangefinder. I've heard of that one.
drop mag,
Pretty good.
and the crossfire. Pretty good. Pretty good. This might be. I think this is the best devils of all the lot.
Yeah.
Now-
so that whole perk set there has been randomized.
Yes. Yes. Every single time a better devils drops in the crucible, it's going to have a different role.
It could be a better devil.
Yeah.
It could be the best.
How else can you modify this weapon?
Well, we have this thing here, which is the masterwork. So, of course, previous masterwork system went from 1 to 5, so you
Yep.
basically get somewhat of like a 5% bonus at the max.
Yep.
We have now made masterwork go all the way to 10
For weapons.
for weapons.
Yep.
So, which means that you can actually get a 10% range boost on this Better Devils if you level it up.
Gotcha.
Make it
Okay.
even better devils?
An even better Devils.
And it's not just 1 to 5 to 10. It's a 10-point scale, and you can upgrade it and upgrade it.
Keep on going.
Yep.
Keep on going.
And what's the biggest impact when you're upgrading this? What stats are you manipulating? What's the benefit that you're getting from this weapon? Just to call it out and explain it in very specific terms.
So for hand cannons, there's a subset of stats that you can masterwork. Range, stability, handling, reload. We actually, so because we're going through more of a leveling type system now, we moved the magazine masterwork to now it is a mod, which I will show you next. Is the new and improved mod system.
Oh, there it is.
Whoa.
There it is. Max.
Now,
Level
you've got a new column over there too.
I do.
Tell
Got
us
some
more.
cool kill trackers,
Okay.
and you can switch
Okay,
between
cool.
I
them.
can choose here?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
for free.
That's amazing.
So here we have the empty mod socket, and as you can see, the damage type mods are gone. However, we've replaced it with this plethora of drastically game-changing mods.
Menagerie.
Menagerie.
A menagerie of mods.
Yeah.
So they don't just manipulate your energy type. They're actually going to have a tactical impact on the way you fight.
Yes.
Right. This is what we were talking about in the first goal about being able to tweak your playstyle. This is one of the examples of being able to do that. And so,
Screenshot.
exactly. A bunch of people, we've talked about, and we're excited about the in-air accuracy mod that you can apply. There's a quick radar return mod that you can apply. All things to make the game play a little more the way that you play.
And how do I acquire these mods?
They are going to drop in the weapon, on the weapon. However, you're like, oh, but how am I going to get them out of the weapon once they're in the weapon? So here we have that pretty good Devils with the major spec mod on it. And I will shard it.
Dismantle
and
it.
Behold, there is the major spec mod now
There you
in
go.
inventory.
So it
Perfect.
drops
Taking
into your
it out.
bank, and you can use that on any weapon.
No gun
You can
splits
choose.
required.
So you can get a weapon with a random roll that you're like, this is an okay roll, I'm going to keep it. You can get a weapon with a roll that you're like, this isn't as good, but it had a mod on it, and then you nuke the weapon, and now you have a copy of the mod.
It seems like it runs the gamut, yeah?
No light level.
pretty much.
There's no light level on the mods now.
So loot drops can be more interesting over time. The combat meta can evolve and change over time as people discover more interesting combinations. This looks promising. When you make these changes, though, if you make the slightest change to anything in Destiny, we've got this crazy sandbox that impacts a menagerie of activities. People are going to use this new weapon system on everything from a final raid boss to the people that they meet in the Crucible.
Yep.
And when you start making these changes, it impacts every other system in the game.
So we build a new ammo system to work with the slots. And then you either give out a ton of ammo so that people have enough uptime, because we felt strongly that we're going to promise a system and then people are going to get in and they're going to feel like they don't get a chance to play. So that either means you give out more ammo or you just deal with that, and we didn't feel like that was the right call. So we gave out more ammo, we gave you more uptime for those special weapons. This is what we need to do.
If I like to play with an auto rifle, or if someone out there likes to play with a hand cannon, and all of a sudden we've got all these shotguns and all these grenade launchers moving further up into the weapon slots where you're going to see them more often.
Yep.
I'm not just going to get overrun and now my auto rifle's worthless.
No.
But you're putting the requirement on me to evolve. I now have to embrace precision fighting.
I would say probably the biggest change to the neutral game of the abilities, just like non-supers basically, is we went back to 2-hit melees. So two melee hits will kill a Guardian. There needs to be some power spikes, and those power spikes started to become things like shoulder charge again. So all the shoulder charge mechanics, shield bash, hammer strike, all the ones that are basically, you go out in third person, you punch someone, those are going to now one hit. And so those guys are back to their previous place, taking out Guardians.
Beware the Titan.
Voidwalker's charge grenades also deal more damage now, for instance. Basically anything that was promising damage increases, we need to reevaluate in this new world of lethality. One of the things that we found pretty early on was that Tether actually isn't as reliable as it needs to be.
Yeah.
It's not finding guys as frequently, like people are passing through it, they're not getting tethered fast enough, that kind of thing. And so we basically found a way to increase the, I'll call it search frequency that the tether can activate on. And so now it's like, it's fast, it'll find
brutal.
you, it will find you. All right, so Golden Gun got a little bit more time. So in this new world of fast-paced action, we wanted you to have the ability to sort of, more carefully choose your targets. And so we gave all Golden Gun versions a couple more seconds, so literally 2 more seconds, to run around with your one-shot Golden Gun and just evaporate guys. Similarly, Throwing Knife came up in damage to match the new 2-hit melee world.
Okay.
So we're gonna demonstrate some of the time to kill changes here. Cosmo and I have picked loadouts here to represent archetypes. I'm running like an aggressive pulse rifle and a nice rapid fire scout rifle.
All right, let's shoot some people.
All right, sure. Yeah, I'll start with this aggressive pulse. As you can see here, a 2-burst almost melted him.
That's a spicy meatball.
And then with this rapid fire scout, 5 shots to the head and gone. As you see here, he dropped his special ammo right on the floor for everyone to see.
This nice assault rifle.
Mm.
Yeah, even with the body shots, you can see the difference with the
Aggressive hand cannon.
So I can just kind of 1 and then
2 and then 3. Gonzo.
Oof. There's the 3-tap.
That's spicy.
The
2
3-tap
body.
is real.
2 body, 1 head.
So real. I noticed that you're running Icarus on your Better Devils there. Can you give a demonstration of that? I had some people asking about that one.
Yeah, so I got the Icarus. So as you can see, when I jump, that aimer stays pretty tight, right?
It's pretty tight. Wow, that was
Well,
what are you doing?
The perfect tool still needs to be in the hands of the right craftsman.
You weren't even aiming.
I got it.
at
I got it.
Go Death Blossom, Cosmo. Go Death Blossom. There we go.
Is there a better Cosmo that drops?
All right. Are we ready to fight?
I think we're ready to fight.
All right, then game on.
Oh no, that's not.
What is going on?
Let's try that again.
All right, we are in combat. Our combatants are muted. We're going to listen to the designers. And gentlemen, when you see a product of your labor, something you're proud of, something you're excited about, let's call it out. This is why we're fighting today, is to understand how year 2 will change the way we fight.
Oh, that exotic bow.
Yeah, so he's using that Witch Ender to find targets behind walls.
This is one of the new maps as well.
Yes.
Worth calling out.
Oof.
pre-work
Bad
well.
timing there.
Oh wow, yeah.
What happened to him? It happened so
He
fast.
tried to use Spectral Blades, but he
I blinked.
Yeah.
The speed at which you can take control points might have to change. The speed at which you respawn might have to change. Right?
So,
Look at
I
that.
think earlier there was
Nice
the
bow
new
work.
Archfighter melee attack there. Oh, you can see if that target got
There he is.
away. I was
There he
running
is.
away. He knows exactly where he is. He's gonna pursue. Oh, it's 2 of them now.
Some poor Cabal locked
at
into
that.
that Cabal ball.
It's all about information. Ooh, and aiming. Aiming is also just as important.
All about player feedback, right? It should be said that...
Whoa, there's Thunder Crash. Oh, where's the Icarus? Need Icarus on that.
As you can see, everybody's dropping special ammo because one of the The way we're handling special ammo is you spawn with, and when you die, you drop everything you had. But of course, you spawn back with it, and so the game constantly stays fed with green.
And Kevin's not picking that up because he's not running special.
Kevin's not running special, so he doesn't have a use
Look
for
at
it.
that. They're just holding hands.
Yeah.
But his
They're just-
teammates do.
They're just daisy chained.
His teammates
Ooh.
can come pick it up. Oh, sniper.
Sniper, yeah.
Oh.
So you gotta start watching lanes for those again.
Yeah.
More frequently. than it
Almost
is.
guaranteed to have ammo
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, one of the big changes that we're happy with this ammo model is because there aren't crates for them in the world, and because they drop on the corpses of your enemies. It means if you just randomly snipe into a crowd, you just produce more special ammo for his buddies, and/or made it extremely hard for you to go get.
Kevin ran into a rift earlier, so it's a good segue there. So we also we bumped up the healing.
Oh, that's a good battle.
Nice. So a couple of cool things just happened there. So he just procced Flawless Execution, which is one of the new Night Stalker perks that lets you go invisible when you get a headshot kill while crouching. And then while you're invisible in that state, you'll actually be able to see targets behind walls as well. And now he's using Spectral Blades to destroy this team that was trying to turtle on a healing area put down by the Dawnblade.
But they were able to mount a resistance there. I mean, usually if somebody runs into a room with a super, it's like, we're all dead.
Yep.
Yeah,
So there's a good pushback there.
The Dawnblade heal is extremely good.
It's
and
extremely
so-
effective, and it also buffs your damage as well. So they were able to push back. And holy crap, that Thunder Crash just got 3 kills. This is pretty intense here. So the other thing, so Healing Rift came up. Just basic Healing Rift is now a little bit more effective. And
Had to be, right?
Yeah,
It's a counter.
definitely, to help give it some more keeping up with the high pace of combat now. And the other thing is Empowering Rift also got buffed. And so that used to not buff your precision damage, but now will also buff your precision damage. So basically it's gonna keep up with this new lethality in a way that makes your weapons even more lethal than before.
Now, one of the things we haven't talked about, but armor also receives random rolls. So there are random rolls on armor. Additionally, there are, of course, mods that go into your armor. There are some new and some that you used to from year 1, including the ability regeneration speeds and things. Those have also all been buffed, because for the same reason, you can take 5 now as well. So all the rules have been removed. There's no like, hey, put this on when you're wearing blue pants on the morning of August 5th. It's just this increases your grenade regeneration speed.
Yeah, flat out.
And you can push it all the way up to 5 to give you, I believe we settled on a, I will say at least a 60%. I think we settled on higher than that.
Three
But that is
targets. Watch
higher.
out! Ooh!
Wow.
Rockets. Not even bad. It looks like on the opposing team right now, there's a lot of overshield happening, and I think that's probably due to the Dawnblade using its new heal nade, or I forget what we actually, Divine Protection. That's what it's called. Where you
That's a better
basically
name.
convert your grenade into a grenade that can actually heal your allies and give them an overshield as well.
So how do you do that?
So you hold whatever your grenade button is, so that's left bumper for default, and you'll convert your grenade pretty quickly into a healing grenade.
Exotic weapons have set perk sets.
Yes, they do not have the ability to slot a mod.
All right, they are fixed roll.
Yeah,
no
fixed
mods.
roll.
Exotic weapons are extremely powerful and very specifically curated by y'all.
The
Juicy
Night Stalker
Tea-Tac.
Super Spectral Blades, when you go invisible, you can actually see guys behind walls the entire time as well.
You slide reflect where
Yeah.
you put the increased one of the new armor mods that we brought back, new old armor mods. You put the increased turning while sprinting mod on, so you're super agile. You can reflect.
And then boom, here we go. Well done, well done.
You can reflect incoming fire as you slide.
That's very nice.
We have how many new supers in Forsaken?
We added 9 new supers, so basically we wanted to add a lot more variety to the way you can customize your existing subclasses, because we felt like we wanted to make everyone have a new way to play. Basically, that was our main goal. And so we added new supers and associated perks for each of those supers as well.
Right off the bat with Foresaken, we knew we wanted to give everyone a new way to play. We learned from the Taken King that it was great to add new subclasses, but when people sort of identified with other subclasses, we weren't always offering them a new way to play, right? And so we wanted to extend every subclass instead of just adding new ones, because this way everyone gets a new way to play, no matter what you identify with. And so we took each subclass one at a time, talked about their identity, their mechanical goals, and what they're missing, and then tried to see if we could fill that gap. Or if they're doing a really good job, they're just trying to surprise you with a new way to think about that fantasy. So with the Sunbreaker, we knew the identity was pretty solid. It's like destructive, it's raw force and power. The current way you can do that with the Sunbreaker is like a bombardier. You're staying back, you're at the top of the hill tossing bombs super far away, and we wanted to see like what would it feel like to be the Sunbreaker that charges the castle and breaks the door, right? And so we took this little hammer and made it a giant hammer, and you can basically use all that weight to like use it with momentum and just spin around like over and over again. Anytime you can hit the right trigger and you can do like this giant overhead slam, and you'll hit the hammer down on the ground, send this screaming earthquake in front of you, and that'll hit guys and detonate into this giant whirlwind of fire. The other thing that we wanted to do with the Sunbreaker's neutral game, like the rest of the perks that come with the subclass path, we always wanted to find a way to give you a way to throw something just like hunters do, but we wanted to find a way to make that feel like Titans, right? So what we tried was you throw the hammer, instead of it just like detonating like a grenade, it actually like bonks the guy in the face, falls on the ground, and it just stays there. When you pick it up, you get all of your melee energy back, and you can do it right away. So basically you just like hit guys in the face, slide back over the top of the hammer, grab it again, and just keep going. Just do that as long as you want. So people ended up building like sort of an attachment to it, and they're like, oh man, my hammer! I can't let my hammer go. I gotta go get it. I gotta go fight all these dudes to make sure I can get my hammer every time I throw it. So the Sentinel, what we wanted to do this time was give you a way to sort of carry your team. When you guard with your shield, it's actually a huge wall instead of like a personal shield. And the wall is big enough to actually have multiple teammates behind you, and they can actually fire through the wall. So you're basically carrying this wall, moving your team like a convoy, protected, and they can fire where they're perfectly safe, basically. We also found a really interesting element to the new Sentinel, where you can basically be a commander for your team. What we wanted to do is put a bomb on targets that you had to keep firing at to make it explode, and it kind of feels like you're filling up a balloon the whole time. You're like sticking on a guy, you're shooting at him, and it's filling this balloon like bigger and bigger and bigger, and then pop, and then that damage actually causes the balloon to get sort of planted on other targets, and it keeps spreading, and it's sort of guiding the action for you and your team. So the Striker's got a bunch of really new exciting things on them. We all kind of like empathize with the community in the sense that we kind of miss that old-fashioned just like one-off, slam the ground, everything's dead, and you just kind of go home. And we found a really interesting way to do that with what we're calling Thunder Crash. You'll actually take off into the skies from wherever you are, and you drive around like a ballistic missile and actually get to steer yourself along the way and just slam into whatever you want and just cause this massive detonation. We wanted to find a way to constantly make you feel like you're this missile. So when you're sprinting, you just jump in the air and you lift. And from there, if you press your melee button, you'll actually charge up your fist and just detonate against the ground anyway. You'll kind of like dive back down towards the ground as like a dive bomb and cause a detonation. So you can kind of always be this missile. We like to say like strikers don't use weapons, they make themselves the weapon, right? So they throw their body at the enemy. That's what this entire path is all about, is throwing your body directly at the fight. So Stormcaller, so basically the arc beam is this long-range destructive power where you're unleashing lightning at enemies and it overpenetrates all targets. Sometimes you'll just murder everything that you wanted to, and you're kind of just hanging out with this energy just kind of flying out of your hand, and you wanted to save it. So what we did was we made a way for you to turn off your arc beam early, and you actually save a bunch of your super energy. We want to try and make sure that each super has something that no other super can do. We wanted to find a way to make it feel like you were tapping into the world of Warlock sort of mystic energy. Internally was what we called something leyline, which is like this energy that's sort of latent in the world that only Warlocks could tap into. When you're killing enemies, occasionally these like sparks of light will come out of the ground where they die, and you have to kind of catch it. You have to like position yourself to get in sort of the line of sight of this leyline and pick it up. And when you do, you'll actually get a bunch of energy for all your abilities. So the Voidwalker, instead of like hanging back and throwing an explosive from range, we wanted you to be able to zip around the battlefield and basically charge up a detonation locally and just unleash havoc around you. You have two moves in your super. One is what we call a Dark Blink, and it's basically a teleportation move that you can combo like one after another, and then you can charge up in a detonation that can get bigger the longer you charge it. Or if you want, you can kind of save the energy and you can just tap that trigger and get little localized explosions that are a little bit smaller but way more efficient. So Dawnblade right now, that's this angel of death floating above the battlefield, tossing blades of fire down, destroying everything on the ground. And instead, we wanted to make you this benevolent angel flying around the battlefield, looking at people who need help and giving them energy and giving them life. Instead of summoning your blade and jumping into the sky, you'll actually take your blade and plant it into the ground, and that'll radiate this aura that helps your friends. It heals them, it gives them bonus damage. It basically gives you this well of power that reinforces a position and gives you a way to kind of destroy all your enemies much more easily. The other thing we added to the Dawnblade is what we're calling the healing grenade. The way it works is you take whatever grenade you have equipped and you hold the button, and instead of throwing a grenade, you'll actually convert your grenade into a healing grenade. And when you throw it, it'll heal anyone it hits and it'll give them an overshield. So you can basically protect your friends from afar. You can kind of follow them around, wait for them to get weak, throw an energy ball down that gives them a shield, or you can kind of leave one around for someone to come pick up when they're in need. So for Arcstrider, we wanted to kind of deep dive on what else we could do with the martial arts sort of fantasy of the Arcstaff Hunter. So the way this super works is you hold your left trigger while it's active, and you'll spin your staff super fast and deflect projectiles right back at enemies. So you'll keep yourself protected and be able to send their damage back. So it gives you a little bit of like depth in how you block, when you block. If you're aiming well, you can actually kind of send the damage right back at them. And you get to feel like just a ninja, just spinning the staff around really fast, dodging, attacking, all still options. So the other thing with the Arcstrider is we found a way to make the Hunter's shoulder charge. And the way this one works is you sprint and then you slide. And once you're sliding, if you press melee, you'll actually summon your arc staff temporarily to slice it across the ground and create this lightning storm that just shoots ahead of you and just damages all these guys in front of you. And the Gunslinger is totally different. It is awesome. It's like we went from this hyper precise, skill focused thing to this just storm of burning knives that just finds guys and it just hits them all in the face with these explosive knives. So it kind of like plants in their face, it plants wherever on the ground, lights up, and then boom, they all pop, 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 pop. Like, it's super cool. And basically we wanted it to feel like the Hunter's easier super to use for sort of like ramping new players in, but then also give it that depth that Hunters love, where they get to be still pretty precise and pretty skillful. Depending on the number of targets that are in front of you, it'll actually sort of like choose how many knives it's gonna throw at each guy. So if there's like one big guy, he'll get every knife that you're throwing. And if there's like 20 of them, it'll just spread it across all of them evenly and just kind of create this like giant popping sea of explosions. For the Night Stalker overall fantasy, it's always about being this tactical ninja, having tools of the trade, having enhanced information, but we wanted to do it where you can get up close and personal. This version of the Night Stalker actually has a super where you summon 2 void blades, they're kind of like katanas, and you'll go into stealth. And once you're in stealth, you get something we call a true sight, which means you can see any enemy behind a wall. So you can basically stalk the battlefield from stealth, have enhanced information about where everybody is, choose your route, jump out of the shadows, and just stab guys in the neck. It's super cool. Another philosophy we wanted to explore this time around was basically broadening all the combat options you have, the different roles you can play as a player in Destiny, trying to give you ways to kind of play with team composition, ways to make you feel uniquely different from the rest of your team, having lots of different options that just feel like they're gonna be able to do something that no one else can do. And so with the healing support kind of stuff, we wanted to make sure that that was a really strong focus on healing and helping, whereas something else can be a really strong focus on just tactics or creating opportunities, and something else can be focused on just raw damage. And then you can kind of play together around what your team composition is like.
Very good. Well, some of these changes will arrive on October 28th when we preload Foresaken. All players of Destiny 2 can see how that stuff feels. The rest of these changes arrive on September 4th when Foresaken begins with a brand new adventure. We hope you'll join us for all of these things. In the meantime,
They didn't expect that! Like a whirlwind of death!
Destiny 2 Foresaken, available September 4th. Pre-order and get the Ace of Spades Last Hand Ornament, plus Cade's Exotic Stash.